Hello, good morning. Welcome to Kahu's Corner. This Monday morning, beginning of the work week. Still windy out there, cold. Be careful when you guys get out there in the morning or as you get to work. The wind's still up a bit. Hope you guys had a blessed weekend. Hope everything was good. Hope you guys stayed safe. It's that time of the year again. It just keeps time keeps moving quicker and quicker. It seems like, excuse me. But as we just a couple of weeks away from Christmas, again like Thanksgiving, a major holiday, people trying to get from point A to point B, whether it's by plane, train, or just trying to plan a vacation with family, especially at this time of the year. It's going to be busy. Weather gets worse if you're traveling to the mainland in certain parts. So it is stressful and it takes a lot of planning. So as you plan your trip or vacation to spend with loved ones, just take extra time in getting to where you need to be. That usually cuts down on stress, the busyness. So, but in today's world, that's how it is. I mean, we have families scattered all over. Everyone does, and you can't be with everyone in the same place at the same time. So sometimes this time of the year, you've gotta figure out if you going to stay home or if you're gonna plan to go visit family. Sometimes you gotta celebrate Christmas at other times of the year when it's slower, just so you can get around and travel and see your family. But it does take a lot of planning. It is really stressful, but also in this time of the year, people go through a lot of things that we didn't foresee last year. Health of family members, financial stress, relationships. The list just goes on and on. And sometimes you got to sit back and just figure out what's most important, what you need to get done this holiday. You got to make some hard decisions, and again, it's stressful at this time of the year. Just getting out and shopping and all of that stuff just to make that day special for little ones, for family members. But when you really look back at certain things or certain times you spend with certain people, that it's not going to be a joyous Christmas, or there's going to be Christmas with one less family member, or you don't have that financial stability, so this Christmas can be way different than it was last Christmas. But there's always something that you can do. It doesn't take money. All it really does is you need to invest time in it. And that's really just spending time in God's Word. Sometimes we get so busy that we don't do it. I'm guilty of that myself. We just get up, we get running, we get into our day. We just get so engrossed in trying to get stuff done, getting stressed out, not being patient. When the most important thing we can do is spend, it doesn't have to be a full hour, or, it's just finding a time to be quiet, reading God's Word, and just trying to think about it, what you've read all day. It can just be a verse that God has laid on your heart. It doesn't have to be anything pertaining to Christmas. Just if we keep opening our Bible and keep reading wherever it may be in God's Word, it's full of His promises, His encouragement, and just take small bites at it, and then think about it throughout the day. He says it in His Word that if we read His Word and put our trust in it, that it helps us throughout whatever we're going through. So why not invest some time in it? Spending time with God in His Word, asking Him in prayer, and just letting that sink in throughout, every day from now until the new year. And we get past the new year, it's going to have a whole bunch of troubles by itself. So there's never a time in a year where we can say that there's no troubles. It's going to come every day, and how we adjust to it really makes a difference. So I just wanted to read a verse out of Psalm 9. Again, a Psalm of David. David was going through all kinds of stuff in his life. He was oppressed. He was on the run. People wanted to kill him. He didn't listen to God. He was prideful. Wanted to do things his own way. Finally realized that he couldn't do anything without God. And he kind of just rethought his plan for each day or whatever situation he was in, and started seeking after God. And he kept getting into situations he didn't want to be in, but that's us too, every day. If we don't create it ourselves, it finds us, and how we deal with it is it's our choice. So, but God's Word, full of encouragement, full of building up. So really, if we take the time to open His Word and read it and grow closer to Him, there is a lot of stuff that we can take from God's Word. Keep it close, and it'll help. But in chapter Psalms 9, David talks about being on the run from enemies, but he also talks about the future judgment, about what's yet to come. That's one of God's promises that we sometimes we stray away from, is His promises of judgment, but it's coming. But then He also says that there's a way to not be part of that judgment, and that's to put your trust and faith in the very one who came to save the world, and it's Jesus. If we don't take that seriously, or we just kind of skirt around these verses that talk about future judgment, that's time lost now. That if we don't read about Him, read about Jesus, why He came and why He's coming again, that everything we're going through now in this life is really minute compared to what's coming. So invest time in reading His Word. If you don't understand it, find someone who does. That's where discipleship comes in. And God's Word is clear. If we don't understand it, then we have to find someone to help disciple us, or be someone that can disciple others to reveal what God's Word is saying. Because it's very, very important that if we don't understand it now, there is going to be future implications. It's coming. God says it in His Word. Some people think it's just not important enough to understand it, but that's their choice. But in Psalms 9, again, David's in trouble. He's writing this psalm, but down in verse 7, he says, "But the Lord abides forever. He has established his throne for judgment." It's already established. And he will judge the world in righteousness, meaning it's still yet to come, will judge the world in righteousness. He will execute judgment for the peoples with equity, people who store up for themselves. But then this is what he says for the oppressed people. In verse 9, the Lord will be a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. And those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. Pretty cut to the chase. Seek the Lord, trust in him, and he will be your stronghold. Those who are oppressed, but we go through those. We are going through the times right now. We're in the times of trouble. There is people who are oppressed, but God makes a promise again. He said he'll judge. But in verse 10, he said, "Those who seek your name will put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you." So even in these times, seek him, and he won't forsake you. So whatever situation you're going through, whatever time, people who don't know him, we've got to show them what God is doing in our lives so that we can be of help to them, especially in these times. Like I said, there's no time in a year that people are not oppressed or stressed out or going through something that's really, really bad and they need our help. Some people choose not to talk about it or shun away from family or other people, but as children of God, we've got to seek them out, got to be available. And that's when we get blessed, is when we have the opportunity to bless others. Get out there, do what God expects of us to do. Share the good news and help in whatever God lays on your heart. This is the time to do that, even throughout the year. So again, as we come into 2 weeks within Christmas, be safe out there, less stress, more of reading God's word, seeking him by prayer, seeking out people who need help, and just be blessed in that way. So I hope you guys have a good day, a safe day. Aloha.